We're broadcasting live from Cool City Mall. Hello there. Okay, so today's a very interesting day for myself. It's back to work, back in the mall, as you can see the logos at the back here. And we're broadcasting live both online and on Facebook Live. Okay, so if you're listening to us online right now, you can go to facebook.com/AFO Radio and watch us. All right. Now, throughout the show, I've been telling you about our guests this afternoon. They've been really busy. They're co-founders of a kid tracking app, which I absolutely love. And they've worked with so many different parties to help improve and make that app better and better for all parents when it comes to, tracking your children or bringing the community together to look for children who's gone missing at times. Okay, things happen. All right, it doesn't mean you're a bad parent. Sometimes it just happens. Okay, so these two are, or rather have been, rather busy the past couple of months, helping the Ministry of Education prepare for the opening of schools. So, of course, June 24th saw schools reopen for Form 5 and Form 6 students. And then July 1st saw schools reopening for preschools and kindy. And July 22nd, officially, all standards and forms will be back to school as normal. All right, so it started 15 and then 22nd. So what are the SOPs that schools have to undertake? How are they preparing for this? We'll have to speak to our guest this afternoon. So let me bring on my guest this afternoon. They are, like I said, they're co-founders of this amazing app called TraqKid. They've been working tirelessly helping schools to prepare for going back to school. They are none other than Simon Chin and June Lim of TraqKid. So welcome.
Hello. Hi, man.
Hello. Hi.
Hello,
so nice to see you.
So still the old norm or the new norm whereby we're actually not broadcasting not in your studio but
in your office. Correct.
Yes.
So it's interesting, isn't it? How technology has made it so easy for us to connect wherever we may be.
Yes. Yeah. It's actually quite exciting and everybody likes it. Yeah.
I know. I completely love it as well. So it kept us working throughout the whole CMCO period as well. So it's lovely, And now you guys don't even have to drive for interviews anymore. You can actually sit in the comfort of your own offices. Although right now you're standing, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right, so we've been doing this online stuff for many months and we've been sitting. So I thought something with the for change, we do a stand up one.
Well, we all know there's a different reason to standing up, but hey, it's okay. All right. So, as mentioned, you guys have been working so hard helping the Ministry of Education prepare for, schools reopening. So, tell us more. What have you been doing? I mean, what's the legwork like?
So working with us because we wrote a paper 3 years ago on how to handle hand, foot, and mouth, which is actually another disease that you look into it. And kindergartens has a lot of that problem.
Yeah.
And that how to prevent it, how to do the disinfection, and also how to clean up the place before going into it. So it's somewhat similar to COVID-19. So what happened is that they saw it to be quite similar and said, hey, these guys might be able to help us. So we went in there, not as a consultant, to be fair, but they are extremely knowledgeable. I think all the doctors in MOH has been really helpful and they are really, really knowledgeable in terms of solving this problem. We are there just to say, let's add on extra stuff to make it more practical. Also, the reason is because we've been working with schools around Southeast Asia. We have nearly worked about 300 schools around Southeast Asia. Malaysia itself is about 100 schools, so we know how to understand, to adapt certain things into it. Of course, understanding the kids' behavior is one of the biggest points to be looking at this.
Definitely. So, when did this whole thing start? I mean, for you guys?
20th, 19th, somewhere there, March.
Okay.
So when people goes into indoors, we go to work.
But indoors and safe as well, I hope.
Yes. Well, for us, we do it online. We also go to MOH for consultation work and also working with them as well during meeting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so there's been a lot of talk about how schools should not be reopened yet. It's not entirely safe for our children yet. And I get, as a parent myself, I get what that means or what that feels like. Okay, because you're not really comfortable because we're fighting a pandemic that we cannot see, right? So, there must be stringent measures that have been put into place to make sure that schools are really prepared for the children to come back to school, right? So what are these measures like?
I think the school has added on a lot of stuff. SOPs that are provided by the Ministry of Health is actually something that's given to Ministry of Education. And Ministry of Education has cascaded down to all the schools. Most of the schools also add on more stringent work into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
We have done nearly about 60 schools at the moment in terms of consultation, in terms of training them, in terms of getting them ready.
Yep.
We also did we did on-site audit as well, all the way from
Okay.
Penang to Johor and everywhere else. So we have seen issues, we have seen
Okay.
lack of certain areas, and of course there are improvement that to be suggested to them.
Yep.
And there's also shortfalls and things like that. So they are quite detailed stuff, to be fair, to every schools. There will be problem areas that we fine tune as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned
Yeah.
that schools are also, preparing their own legwork in terms of SOPs as well, isn't it? Yes.
So the leg work that they want to look into is, for example, disinfectants. Our best SOP for disinfectant is actually 60 ml bottle, a small little bottle. Yeah. So
It's just a simple carry-on.
a simple carry-on, for me, it's a very unique thing that every parent should give it to the kids. That is very
Definitely.
simple. Some of you say that, yeah, why don't you prepare that? The school might have it. Now, the school won't have it, but my encouragement to the teacher, to the parents is that always teach your kid to use your own because it is the cleanest of the lot.
Yes.
Yeah? Bear in mind that is public touch.
We call it the high traffic touch.
High traffic touch. So you press it quite a fair bit. This is something that is actually not very comfortable, but I mean, 60 ml, small little ones you can put in the pocket. It's quite enjoyable to use actually, and we will use that as a way to improve the health.
Okay, so you guys working on this, I'm just curious, are there differences in terms of preparing the schools when they open for the Form 5 and Form 6 kids, or when they open for kindergarten, and when they actually open for the rest of the standards, July 15 and 22nd? Are there different standards, or it's going to be across the board, it should be similar?
Big difference, huge difference. Form
Okay.
5, Form 6, they listen, they understand.
They understand, yeah.
They know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They know the danger of it. You can also show them the danger of it.
Correct.
For Form 5 students, we suggest to speak to a COVID-19 patient.
Okay.
Understand what we have patients that are very openly sharing to Form 5, Form 6 students. So they understand the seriousness of it. They will know that they will understand how to prepare for putting in the right SOP, putting the mask, putting the shield, washing their hands, and things like that. Pretty much okay. So indirectly quite a scary tactic, getting the COVID-19 patient to talk to them kind of thing. And it's a really painful experience. You really talk about it. It is touching your lungs, yeah? I mean, your lungs will have problems. It is a long-term issue.
Okay, so we might lose them occasionally. Sorry, we lost you for a while there.
Sorry.
Okay.
So for a patient, for a COVID-19 patient, will share things that is actually scaring tactic. So sometimes, I mean, lung is really a problem in the long run. So basically, having a COVID-19 virus in there will have a lot of problems, medical problems as well. So some of these things we share with the Form 5, Form 6 students, they understand it. They will say, yeah, I will be more careful for myself because they will think for themselves. For the kids. So my sons, I have two twin boys, just started school today, first day of school. The first thing they put in is their mask and they said not comfortable, throw it out. So
that's
right. that problem that is actually happening. So the way I've been preparing my kid, I'll answer myself instead of my 60-year-old schools, is that I got to play it out with the kindergarten kids. So I got to be able to say, hey, wear a mask. The mask actually equals to.
Okay, we've lost him again.
Yeah. So we put masks that is cute. We put masks that is represent the superhero. We decorate the mask. For me, of course, I use cloth mask with a
Yeah.
filter in the middle. Some people use a medical mask, which is good, but you also can actually do a bit of decoration and a bit of stickers that you can actually decorate it nicely. End of the day, what you're encouraging the kid to do is to understand that a mask is healthy. Of course, the school also has teach the kid quite well in terms of the danger of COVID-19. They understand it, but when you're actually wearing the mask the whole day, it is just another way of saying, I don't want it, actually. So parents play a very vital role in this area. I can rest assure you, it is not the school's job. It is the parents and school's responsibility on this. The parents need to be able to teach the kid to keep their mask on and understand why the masks are there, actually. Yeah.
All right. I think there are a lot of people who don't understand the reality of things because we're basically at the moment fighting a pandemic that we cannot all see. We don't know whether that really is or exists or something unless you come into contact with somebody who has it, and like you said, the Form 5 scare tactics. You speak to someone who actually went through the whole experience, right? But for children who are watching their parents go, yeah, I don't want to wear my mask right now and stuff like that. They're wondering, yeah, it's going to be difficult for me as well. And especially for younger children, they need to understand it's to protect them. And wearing a mask for the duration of the whole school hours is going to be quite uncomfortable as well, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is. It is very, very, very difficult. My suggestion to them, if you're sitting put without anyone around it, wear a face shield. The mask can drop it a little bit because that is also important to have. For me, the face shield is actually the double protection. But sometimes when you loosen up your mask and have it single.
That's right. That's right. I think so too. I mean, double protection with your face shield and your face mask. And, at least that gives them a little break for a little while as a breather. Yeah? Yes. Okay. We're going to take a shot.
But one thing for sure,
Sorry,
I noticed I want to voice it out is face shield is actually very important. Reason also because of for young boys or younger at the age of 6 or 7 years old, the kindies, right? Bear in mind is that they are short. So when they every time look up to talk to somebody, they are actually looking up. Eyes are exposed, yeah. Your eyes are exposed if you have no shield. So, so if you have a shield on, right? You basically have a shield on. You can look up and then even the saliva coming down will not go into your eyes. Bear in mind they are shorter. So even a teacher talking, even with mask or even without properly wearing mask, there will be salivas. We were looking up at that. So it's important that a young kid, a kindergarten kid, will need to wear a shield.
That's right. That's right. You actually brought up a really, really important point. The fact that we don't notice that our children are much lower than us. So when we speak to them, there are chances that saliva might be flying all over the place. So facial is definitely very important. Now, we apologize for the bad internet today. There for some weird reason, there are things that are going haywire, but it's Murphy's Law after all. But we're trying our best to keep you company and, spread the awareness at the same time. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back and speak more to June and Simon on the show in just a bit. Stick around. Make sure you keep your questions coming in or your comments as well right below on the Facebook post.
Let's get it on. We got some fresh beat for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some bread made for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some bread made for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some bread made for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some bread made for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go.
Then stay with me right here on AFOradio.com. Hi, I'm Mag. Good afternoon and welcome to the show. Now, of course, this afternoon, we are talking, or rather, I am talking to June Lim and Simon Chin from TraqKid. And, we're actually, Simon's got a really cute shield on his head. I like it. I've not actually bought the shield, but yeah, I should. So we're talking about the SOPs that schools have to actually take on in terms of preparing themselves for the return of the children back to school. Now, as parents yourself, both of you have children. I'm curious, what's your take on this? How are you responding to this?
Scary.
No, it's not scary. It's fun. I always like to make things fun. And to be very honest, I have a different mechanism.
Okay, a different way of doing things.
Yeah, she's the one having the OCD of wearing a mask, having a sanitizer. So she's the one who is like, oh, mommy, this one you have to go out, you must wear a mask, you must do this, you must do that. So I have a really different experience of, she's 10. So I guess at the age of 10, they actually know what is going on. And I do share with her what am I doing in my work as well with regards to the SOP. So they do understand and that we encourage them to say that, it's good that they take charge. So I allow my daughter to take charge and I really follow. So sometimes I forgotten, my mom will be the one who is, reminding me. And then I was like, oh, thank you for reminding. Then they feel very empowered to be, being like the forefront of the maintain the SOP.
That's right. That's a very interesting point of view because you have given me an idea because I also have a 10-year-old. So, giving them that responsibility, allowing them to take charge of the whole situation and reminding us. So it actually helps them prepare themselves as well. And earlier, Simon said, for children going to kindergarten, you got to accessorize your mask and make it more interesting so that they look forward to wearing it. So there's so many ways of doing things, but we've got little children, right? You've got a pair of twins who are in kindergarten. We've got 10-year-olds as well. I think you've got a 9-year-old daughter as well, Simon?
I have a 10. I have a 10 years old
10.
and 6 years old, yeah.
Okay, so we've got little kids, and I'm just curious though. There was a photo that went viral last week about kids, Form 5, Form 6 students who were hanging out at a bus stop waiting for their public transportation. Everybody's together. There's no such thing as social distancing. There was no mask worn. People were saying, how do we make sure that our smaller children follow all the SOPs when the older children are not doing the same. So it comes down to adults as well. Some adults are not following these SOPs, but we now have to make sure our little children actually follow everything to the T. So that's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
Well, it's very tough. The way we do sustainability discussion with schools and also with parents is that we insist of parents taking the work of doing temperature check in the morning, and also we insist the parents to remind them, a bit long-winded, but remind them of the danger of COVID-19, putting in the right SOP, things like that daily. Some of the schools that we advise, or actually most of the schools that we advise, we prefer the schools to receive a document of temperature check upfront before letting the children go into the school. Instead of letting them at the door, only you do the actual temperature check, we have the early declaration by the parents to do so. Now, of course, every morning we also encourage the school to sort of get a gentle WhatsApp to the WhatsApp group. Nowadays, parents have a WhatsApp group. Just remember that, okay, today you go remind them on masks, or today you want to
That's right. You remind them of what is necessary to, remember when you go to school, correct?
But I mean, to be fair, for the children, the children at the age, the Form 5, Form 6 ones, I think it's very important that we use certain scaring tactics that are still very, very powerful. I mean, if we use when we treat drug addicts, we actually talk to drug addicts to understand the danger of drugs. Same thing with COVID-19, we also do the same thing as well to encourage the students to be talking to a patient, how much the person have suffered due contracting to it. Sometimes, I mean, not all children will listen, but I think most of them, when they actually speak to a patient, they will understand the danger of it. Yeah.
I think when it comes to children, you need to somehow get videos of children who have had COVID-19 as well, because that's what I did with my son. In the very beginning, it was a bit difficult to explain the severity of COVID-19 to a 10-year-old, because for him, everything is, we will find a solution. Yes, so he set it in his mind that someday I'm going to grow up and I'm going to look for a solution for COVID-19, which was brilliant. I love that. But I had to show him a video of a 4-year-old boy in the United States that was fighting for his life, and they couldn't even trace how he got it. So I explained to him that you never know what could happen. That's why you need to sanitize. That's why you need to wash your hands. And hygiene is of the utmost priority in all situations, right? So I guess for children...
WHO today just mentioned that COVID-19, there is a possibility of airborne. So,
yes.
I mean, it comes to that question, it will be airborne if it's confirmed. But I mean, WHO made that announcement. Basically, it is quite serious to say that it will be, it's certain sign is there already. So,
definitely.
I mean, keeping us safe is more important. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Now, with all the SOPs and preparations that they have to put in place for schools, right? How are the teachers going to deal with this? Is this additional task on top of everything else that they've already got loaded onto them? I mean, we know that teachers are amazing people. They've got so much to do, so I admire teachers. Hats off to you guys. Thank you so much for educating our kids. But now with all the SOPs in place, that's a lot more work, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the teachers now, they are doing their online classes, and at the same time, they have to go back to school and do the cleanup in preparation for all this. We'd like to take this chance to say a real big thank you to all the teachers out there. You guys are really, really, really wonderful.
Fantastic.
For me, there are teachers. There are also helpers in the school, and there are also headmasters there in the school as well. There are a certain set of people. They are actually able to even help more. A security guard can actually be managing the school entrance better. I guess there's something that end-to-end the school needs to look into it. Not just first thing go to the teacher first. I think teacher has certain roles that they can take over, but not all the roles. But look into a cleaner, for example, into teaching.
That's right. We lost them again, but we'll get them soon. If you have any questions or comments, you can drop it in the comment box below. Saying hi to Jerry and Gibson who's tuning in right now. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this afternoon. Now, as you were saying, for the school, so cleaners have their own responsibilities in making sure that everything's clean in school. But in the classroom, right, the teachers have to make sure that the kids are also maintaining their social distance at the same time, not coming close to each other, or making sure that your kids are washing their hands or sanitizing. But they also have to make sure that their classes are going on as usual. They're teaching the same thing, they're following in the schedule set for them as well. So that's a headache. I don't want to be a teacher right now, to be honest.
Well, I see the kindergarten very creative. This is actually in Penang. So it's actually something that is actually cool with a big stick lying out
Yes.
of 1 meter. They bought us to buy it, and being one of their
Freeze frame.
Yeah, you gotta play, especially comes to kindergartens, you gotta play on it. Just like how I play my kids, I actually do. If you have a pen, if you actually take it out your shield or you take out your mask, I do a right on my face. Of course, this is actually washable, so do a right, so it's dirty. So then we do a whole day game whereby every time you forget and you lie it down, I do another pen right on it. So by the time at the end of the day, we will count who actually had the most amount of pen mark on it. So my kids enjoy that. So they basically say, I'm going to make sure that I cover it up. And sometimes some play action game helps.
Yes.
Definitely.
Correct.
And that's how I get my kids to be aware of they need to wear their mask and make sure that they don't get dirty their face. It's equivalent to having sliders on top of your face anyway. That's why you put a pen mark. So I play that game at least about 7 times already. So they get used to it.
So the whole of MCO law.
Yeah,
playing all
playing
this
some of
SOP
these games.
Okay, so it's very interesting because you guys have to be on your toes in terms of being creative, right? In coming up with ways and methods to do this. The only one that I saw that was really cool is the one about why is it important to wash your hands. So they had a bowl and then they filled it with pepper and then they put a drop of so and everything moved, right? It was brilliant. So how much more creative are you now after this whole
Very.
we do social distancing. So I do social distancing game with my daughter. So we go nowadays we go to the mall. We don't want to stay put at home because basically at home you're just sitting down and play with iPad. So we go to malls and we follow what the malls written. So they say that keep 4 steps apart. So we say like 4 steps apart, while keeping eye on each other and see how much 4 steps we have. So we make it like fun and it's actually in the daily life. That is not something that is scary or so scary, but it's something that is fun and they enjoy doing it as well.
Definitely. So now I'm going to ask you guys, do you actually have like simple steps that you can share with us that we can follow to make sure that this whole process in educating our children or teaching our children how to follow these SOPs become easier and adaptable, become their new normal?
I think MOH came out with 3W, if I'm wrong. I need to remember 3W. Yeah.
I don't know. It started with 3 C's, then 3 S, and then now it's 3 W's. Okay.
So 3 C's focus on adults. You can't do it for kindergartens. Yeah, you're doing for adults. 3C can be given to Form 5, Form 6 person because it is about crowded places. It's about making sure that you're staying distant and stuff like that. Whereas 3W focus on washing your hands, wear a mask. And also, when you actually see somebody coughing and sick, then you walk away from that person. So the 3W. So that kindergartens. Yeah, kindergarten.
Okay, so you start from kindergarten. I think it applies to everybody as well. So wash your hands, wear your mask, and walk away when you actually see somebody coughing or sneezing, I guess.
Yes.
Right now is like the worst time to have sinus because if you suddenly sneeze, everybody will walk away from you.
I'm quarantine at home.
It's very, very interesting. interesting. Okay, guys, so if you're watching right now, if you have questions, if you are parents and you have questions pertaining to sending your children to school once school reopens for everyone, let us know. Type it in the comment box. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back more after this.
Let's get it on. We got some food recipes for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We get Let's get it on. We got some food recipes for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some food recipes for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some food recipes for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go. Let's get it on. We got some food recipes for you. The music. AFO. 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 Hold up. It's AFOradio.com. Let's go.
Shot right here on AFOradio.com. Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the show. I am Megan. How are you doing? Now, with me, I have June and Simon from TraqKid. It is an amazing app. If you don't already have it, go check it out for yourself. I think they're doing a fantastic job in terms of helping parents, helping communities, and children as well. So it's wonderful. Good job, guys. I love it. Yeah. So we're talking about schools preparing for children children to get back to school, one step at a time. We are taking it. Now, I've spoken to many parents over the past couple of weeks, since they announced that Form 5 kids are going back to school, kindergarten kids are going back to school. Not many parents are very happy about it, but life has to go on. This is eventually our new normal, as much as we worry. But my major concern is, will this new normal turn into the old normal, where people become lackadaisical about things, and just say, okay, you know what? Everything's good. We don't need our mask anymore. We don't need our shields anymore. What's hand sanitizer? So do you have that fear, and how do we overcome it?
I think it's all personal responsibility. We can't control anyone from doing all these things. I guess they need to understand the danger of the whole thing before they can really seriously get into it. Sadly say, I have seen a lot of people just didn't bother anymore.
Yeah.
So,
They already go back to the old normal.
Yeah. So
Correct.
and we can't. And to be fair, we can't control that, right? It means their own life, their own safety, they don't bother. It's very difficult for anyone to help. I guess burning probably these people are very rich, because burning their wallet from lockdown doesn't really burn them that badly to be worried about their own wallet. If you have lockdown, just like Melbourne or Victoria having a re-lockdown for 60 days, but 60 days, yeah.
Correct.
So and how much money you're going to lose from doing that? How much debt? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So you need to take into consideration so many different things. It's not just about now, it's about what's going to happen next after this, right? So we need to look at a bigger picture. Like you said, there are many countries that have already relaunched a new lockdown, and we don't want to get there. So let's work together, because it's not just about me, it's about everybody else, because we never know, right?
And being Malaysian, if there's no police, there's no KKM people, there's no MOH people, oh, forget it, I don't need to worry about it. And for me, the school needs to take a lead in this. Parents, you need to take a lead on this whole thing, to say, let us stop that from the school, and also be a real role model to your own kids. If you go out without a mask, they will learn as well.
Yes.
So it's important that they lead this, and then school will be protected. Now, I can't do the public, really. It is not my job.
Your focus are for the schools and for the children.
Yeah, and we have sustainability strategy with the schools. The school will not back down in terms of loosen up things. It's already loosened up, to be fair. Form 5 already, they felt that, it shouldn't be that dangerous. We will come in and knock their head again on getting them tightened up back again. We have to be fair. Yesterday itself, we actually suggested to remove one of the security guards, because he actually dodged from doing his own temperature check, which I think, if it's a responsibility of a responsible security guard, he should know that, he should do that as well. Yeah. But he thinks that there's nobody making noise.
Since nobody is looking at me and all these things, then they will just very simply do things.
And to be fair, people that are at the front line, you are at the front line taking temperature check, you should be the first one to make sure that you are clean first, to be able to do that. Yeah. And school should be the example for the kids. There will be more of such things happening.
That's right, because we never know when it'll come back again, and we need to, we need to be on alert. Correct.
Yeah, health and safety is still very important for school, and school should spend more time understanding it. One of the things that we do a lot with, and we communicate a lot with the school, is that we set up pandemic response team within the school. So there is one person responsible for this, and we will do like this period. We're doing a weekly call to them. Hey, how are you putting up? How's your stock into a hand sanitizer? How's your face mask? What are you doing less? Do you actually notice hand sanitizers going down at certain entrance? Those are things that we want to be clear of. And do you actually take notice or spend time talking to your cleaners? Those are important stuff. And one of the things that I actually think a lot of schools never thought of is actually your passport. Yeah. Your
Yes.
school bus is very critical. They need to work hand in hand. I know Ministry of Transport has been trying to work with them, but as a school, responsible school management, you need to work.
That's right. You need to work with the Vascolas and every party that comes together or comes close to the school as well. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The responsibility is actually end to end for school, and I never stress more for the school management to actually talk to the school buses, bus operator, and tell them, look, you need to be responsible yourself. It's not, then don't drive my student to school. That's actually very important as well. But it's also a responsibility of all parties
Yes.
to the kids in the school. So that's very important.
Definitely. Now, before we end the show, I just want to ask you this though. For our children, they see this as exciting. It's exciting right now, going back to school, completely different, but over time, they too will let their guards down, right? Do you see this happening, throughout though? Because you've already said, like just now, the guard who didn't even bother taking his temperature, because he's like nobody's watching. So how long before this slowly dies off, or this should be continued for as long as we can?
So you do know, I mean, MOH strategy is actually very straightforward. They started with the older kids so that they can see the data of it. Of course, the
Correct.
transmission there's no transmission, which is a very positive point. With the data itself, they actually started the juniors coming out, but the middle ground is not starting until it's coming up in the later dates. But this gradual growth of it to have more people into it actually builds up the understanding and also the how to solve the major problems. Now,
Yes.
I can guarantee you this, there are positive data to say that Form 5, Form 6 are already relaxing. They are really not able to do that. Now, there's always this work of support group. So we do support group whereby we work with our pandemic response team leader and remind them fully. Now, we still need to rely on this team within the school to be able to continue to strengthen and do this. And for us, it's consistent. We need to be consistent enough to remind.
That's right. We have to be consistent. I think if once there's a break, then that actually, leads to a lot of problems, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and enforcement is tough, yeah. So
Yes.
you do not want MOH to be getting scouting group to be in the school and doing audit. That is actually bad, yeah. They will
Yes.
fine you thousands of dollars for that. So for me, the fine is not important. The duty of care to your kids and to your students are more important for school. So not about extra work, but it's about duty of care. You've got to be able to care for those kids. They are in your caring, in your environment, in your caring. So I think it's very difficult for us to say continue to be so tightly covered. Loosen up, we already see loosening up already. People are just relaxed about it. But we got to keep going to make sure that it's tightened up all the time as much as we can. I mean, what else we can do? Unless we are Superman, we can go around everywhere and telling everybody to tighten up. But it's never going to happen that way.
That's right. That's right. Like you said, you got to be consistent in everything, because you can't just suddenly relax things and hope for better results. It doesn't work that way, right?
But
Okay.
reputation loss is very big, yeah. I mean, for a school, reputation loss is very big. Imagine you get caught and then you get closed down the school, the reputation goes down the school, and then you have students leaving your institution.
Yeah.
It is a very
It's a
serious
big loss, yeah.
loss, and then you will have authority on your back. So
Yes.
the result of not being careful, it is very great. You might lose everything that you work so hard for in the school.
Correct. That's true. And we don't want to get to that either. Yeah, we don't. We want to make sure that everything goes accordingly, goes well, and we keep each other safe. Because not just the kids, but the teachers and the people who work there in school as well. Because all you need is one person to contract it, and that's it. Your school still needs to close. You know what I mean? So yeah, be
Yeah.
safe.
And also
So, okay.
the community around it, it's not only the school, it's also including the whole community as well. So
Definitely.
yeah, we're a bit, OCD about all these SOPs, but I think it's good.
Definitely. Okay, so you mentioned just now one thing. You said that, parents, it is your responsibility to begin with. Yes, our children, it's our responsibility to begin it. And while you're worried about them going to school, you need to do the legwork. You need to build that foundation and teach them what's important first. So, before worrying about what's going to happen in school, I hope you've done your job and taught them about the importance of wearing a mask, keeping your hands clean, sanitizing, and then protecting themselves at school as well. So, guys, we've come to the end of the show already. Any last words from you for all our viewers this afternoon?
I think be responsible and be caring. I think really be responsible for the community and for yourself and it's for your family especially.
Yeah.
We can't stress more than that already. So we just need parents to be really responsible. Bigger parents, be doing this for the community and for your own kids as well as a safety.
Be the role model.
Yeah, the role model is important.
What do you see would be the biggest challenge in terms of getting all this done? I mean, to make sure that everything goes smoothly. What do you see as parents and as people who are working in the background to make sure that everything goes well? What do you think is the biggest challenge for this to work?
Balancing is actually tough. I don't see a balance to be done correctly. I think everybody plays their role will be the least we can get it done. It is extremely difficult. I mean, even what MOH can do or Ministry of Education can really stress on, they can't just press a button and everything goes off. So we are here to keep repeating.
Yes.
I can say radio's been doing that. They are really doing a good job in radio. Is what to repeat back all this long-winded stuff. Be careful, be things like that. But people just switch their ears off. We can't do much.
Of course, the biggest challenge.
Selective hearing.
Human beings, selective hearing. Human beings are pretty much known for taking things for granted.
Correct.
So I guess this is a good time to.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for her to continue on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, June, you were saying about human beings taking things for granted.
For granted. So I think this is a very good time to actually raise the awareness that this is not the time to be chill about things. While we play it cool, but it doesn't mean that you can chill and relax about the SOPs that is being implemented. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Now, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. I've taken a lot of your points and I'm going to try and enforce it at home as well. And I think as parents, I think if there is a part that we can chill about is worrying so much about what the school is doing. I think the schools are doing the best that they can do,
Yes.
with all the pressure that's coming from the ministry or the parents and everything. I think we should just relax a little bit, okay? Do our part, and together as a community, I think our children will be safe as much as we can keep them safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Simon and June. We'll catch up with you soon. You guys take care and continue doing the amazing job that you do. You take care and have a great Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.